We could survive that. We could survive that. We could survive it.
Hello and welcome to We Could Survive That, your survival guide to the movies. My name is Jack and today I'm joined by the sad Rancor keeper. It's Chris.
Hello everybody. Today is a very sad day. For it was this day, and over 20 years ago, actually over 30 years ago, nearly 40 years ago.
A certain amount of time ago that you lost your Rancor.
Yes. It was so bad.
Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. The final Star Wars film until the next Star Wars film.
Also, completely misleading title. The Jedi do not return because Luke is never really a Jedi. Yes, Yoda says you defeat Vader, you become a Jedi. I dispute that. He didn't do the proper training. He didn't have the proper ceremonies. Yes, he may have built his own lightsaber. I don't consider Luke to be a full Jedi Knight.
It's a fanboy rant over.
Not a fanboy rant. It's fact.
Just the ranting of a crazy man. Okay, let's jump in. We're at Jabba's palace where Luke is trying to do a complicated plan to save Han from being a art installation in Jabba's palace. And we get teased that there's a trapdoor when Jabba kills one of his dancers. But we don't see what happens, so we can't really survive. Although we have a good idea of what happens to her. So Luke tries to be clever and tries to shoot Jabba the Hutt by force-wielding a blaster towards him. A Gamorrean guard tries to stop him from shooting Jabba. Jabba hits the button on his trapdoor. Luke and the guard go sliding down into the Rancor pit. And then the little pig man tries to climb out and then gets eaten by the Rancor. You're a pig man. What do you do?
In terms of brute strength, I reckon a Gamorrean is stronger than Skywalker.
Yeah. But he's also more panicked because Luke doesn't know what's down there. The Gamorrean guard's been hanging out with Jabba the whole time and he's like, holy shit, there's a giant thing down here, it's gonna eat me, I've got to get out. And he spends most of the time trying to climb his way back up the gate, which obviously doesn't work.
No, bit of a stupid thing to do, really. It's on a slope you can't get up anyway, and then there's a big-ass gate.
Yeah.
Here's what you should have done. I would have moved as far back as possible, possibly near to Luke, because I don't think Luke would have attacked me. He'd be too focused on what's coming through this gate.
Well, Luke doesn't know. He knows the Gamorrean guard is panicked. And when the giant trapdoor opens, shutter door opens, he's like, oh, okay, something big's coming.
Here's what I'm going to try and do. I'm going to try and have the Rancor focus on Luke. Whether that means when Luke's looking at the Rancor, trying to figure out what to do, I grab Luke and just throw him forward, because stronger.
Stronger, yeah.
And as soon as the Rancor's focused on him, we run through, past the Rancor to that other gate.
Yeah.
The one that Luke runs to, and he tries to get it open. Because the Gamorrean, when we get there, that gate's quite easy to open and close. I reckon they'll open, let me out.
Yeah, because you're there. You're one of Jabba's
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
cronies.
And then they'll close it back down again.
Yeah.
And then, while Luke's dealing with the Rancor, basically, let Luke do what he's going to do to the Rancor, but rather than getting eaten, hand back and then run past or run through the legs of the Rancor or whatever and get to that gate. They'll open it, they let you out, and then done.
That's the tricky thing, trying to get past the Rancor, because you've got to try and avoid.
That's why you need to try and get focus onto Luke.
It on Luke. Yeah.
It only goes for the Gamorrean first because it's closer.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you get up next to Luke and you just throw him towards you, because even if Luke starts using the Force on you, trying to force push you back, whatever.
Well, he wouldn't, because he doesn't know Force push or anything like that.
Yeah, he knows Force choke though.
Luke?
Yes.
No.
Yes. When Luke turns up at Jabba's palace, he walks in. 2 Gamorrean guards put their blades up to stop him.
That's not Force choke.
Luke waves his hand.
That's the mind trick.
The Gamorrean guard staggers back against the wall, holding his neck, going...
He doesn't hold his neck, and he's doing the pig noise.
No. Yeah,
he doesn't choke him, that's dark side shit.
No, he Force chokes the Gamorrean guard.
He does the finger thing, he doesn't do the choke thing.
The Gamorrean guard staggers back against the wall, holding his neck.
No, he goes like that and does the salute thing.
Are you fucking kidding me?
He doesn't hold his neck.
Yes, he does.
He doesn't.
He does.
He doesn't use Force choke.
Regardless of the fact, that's how I would survive this situation.
Okay, hang back, focus on Luke, and try and sneak past. That's good, yeah, I'd agree with that. Also, Gamorrean guards, they have axes as weapons instead of blasters and stuff. That puts them at a disadvantage.
Where was the Gamorrean's axe? They're not come down either.
Exactly. I think maybe he dropped it to try and wrestle the blaster out of Luke's hand.
I'm sorry, if Luke knows Force pull, why does he not know Force push? Surely it's the same thing that you just got to reverse it round.
It's the same thing, but the opposite.
He knows force jump.
Yeah.
He knows force pull. Surely he would know force push.
Apparently he does.
This is what I mean by him not being a proper Jedi, right? He's missed too much training. He can't even use the force properly, for fuck's sake.
Right, the Rancor is next to bite the dust when Luke drops the giant spiky door on its head by throwing a stone at the control panel. There's not really much we can do about this because a Rancor's it's a creature basically. It's not got intelligence and stuff. It's just, there's a tasty morsel, I'm going to eat him. So shall we move on to the Sarlacc pit scene?
Yep, Sarlacc pit me.
Okay, so Luke is on the execution-y thing. He's about to walk the plank, and he gives Jabba his last chance to not make him walk the plank. Does the flip thing, R2 shoots his green lightsaber up, and then Luke begins to mow everyone down. And one of the guys that gets, knocked off the ship thing is a relative of a Wilhelm, apparently. He's a Wilhelm alien. And he falls into the pit and does the Wilhelm scream, like this. Exactly. So I would suggest just trying to get off of that thing as quickly as possible, or fall away from the Sarlacc pit, because I think one side is closer to it and hanging over it, and the other is
that's
like flat desert.
Yeah, because
so
they're not directly over the pit, are they?
No,
yeah. So to be honest, if I was on there and he's landed and he's just got his lightsaber out, I'm not sure how, because obviously at this point in time the Jedi have been thought to have been extinct
for a while. Yeah,
so I'm not sure how
but
good their
there's still
knowledge
a crazy old guy that's lopping off limbs in Mos Eisley's bars until recently. Good old Ben.
So I don't know how good their knowledge is on Jedi, whether they've only just heard stories or like myths about them, whatever. Or, I mean, because personally for me, if I had a spear and an axe or whatever, or even a blaster, and someone's landed, they've got lightsaber out, I have no idea this guy's not a real Jedi. But I would assume he was, so I'd be like, fuck this, I'm not going to go one-on-one with a Jedi. So yeah, I'll do it, what you say. Obviously not towards the Sarlacc pit, jump the other side onto the more flat surface, and try and make my way around to Jabba's place. Hope the sand
doesn't give way and you...
And slide down it,
yeah.
Although, I'm pretty sure it's death as well, actually, because even if you survive that and survive, Jabba's bit being exploded and stuff...
You're still in the desert.
Yeah, you're still...
We've only got to survive.
Dehydrate for one thing.
You're on your own after that.
Jump to the other side, I would do. Or, do you know what? Luke only gets shot at twice at that point, and he deflects both of them. Yeah. I would, to be honest, I'd just unleash a huge barrage of blaster fire onto him.
Well, again, I think they've only got sticks because they're just there to prod them into
Somebody
the
has got a blaster,
pit.
though, because they shoot him.
I think that's on one of the other ships.
Oh, right, okay.
One of the guard ones. They got a blaster on there.
I wouldn't even try to engage him. There's no point.
Because it's a strange weapon. You've not seen it before. And he's done an awesome flip.
I mean, besides Jabba, a lot of them probably...
has Jabba
Boba's
probably...
definitely seen him.
Yeah, Boba's seen Obi-Wan.
Jabba would have definitely seen him. He's a Hutt, so I'm pretty sure lightsabers get dealt on the black market. There's been a
Jedi come in and go, "You've been naughty, Jabba," and Jabba goes, "Here's a bribe."
I was thinking more of there's probably lightsabers circulating on the black, like their version of the black market, which is obviously what the Hutts control and stuff. So Jabba and Boba would have definitely seen lightsabers before. The others probably wouldn't. So they might not even know. They'd be like, "What the hell's this? It's just a bit of light. Go on, we can get him."
Well, Boba obviously hasn't learned from his encounters with not only Obi-Wan, but Mace Windu. And he makes pretty much the exact same mistake as his dad does against Mace Windu. He flies over to where the close-ranged weapon of death is, gets his gun cut in half. He does manage to tangle Luke up in a wire, but then Luke cuts out of it because laser sword. Then Luke gets distracted by the other ship shooting at him, so Luke jumps onto that. Boba gets up, recovers, takes aim at him with his little wrist gun, and then Chewie tells Han that Boba Fett's behind him. He goes, "Boba Fett, where?" Turns around, hits the back of his jetpack. He flies off, hits Jabba's ship, rolls down into the Sarlacc pit, and gets eaten. He just doesn't learn. Why do the Fetts not learn?
Well, technically, he's a clone of his dad, isn't he? So
he's destined to make the exact same mistake.
He's got the same thinking process. It wasn't just a biological clone, it's also a psychological clone. So he's got the same thinking process, that's why.
Ways to survive it.
Maybe he saw the lightsaber and just had a flashback to his dad and just freaked out and just flew over there, like couldn't stop
I
himself.
will have my revenge.
I know.
Although he's probably not technically dead, because he falls into the Sarlacc pit and he's slowly digested over 1,000 years.
Yeah, that's
so we've got
brutal.
1,000 years to try and escape the Sarlacc pit.
I don't think you can escape it.
Jetpack.
Does
He's got
so
a jetpack.
the
Fly
Sarlacc
out.
pit keeps you alive for 1,000 years while it digests you. So it increases your life for 1,000 years.
No, because you just die.
I know. So how do you? Because it says you get digested over 1,000 years, but
You
Jabba
die
also
of
says
like
you're-
dehydration.
I know. But the Sarlacc pit must keep you alive for 1,000 years while digesting you.
Nah.
That is a horrible death.
I think Jabba's exaggerating.
I should bloody
Has
well hope
Jabba
so.
ever been in a Sarlacc pit?
3 times.
Maybe that's why
He
he's so
loves it.
ugly.
Oh. What annoys me about this is Solo just hits the back of his jetpack with a spear,
Stick, yeah.
and it activates it, which then makes him fly off and hit into,
the
Jabba's
side
ship.
of the...
Why doesn't he just activate it again and fly up? As he ran out
Well,
of fuel?
because he's been hit. He's hit the side of it, so he's probably discombobulated, and then he's rolling down
Oh, don't
the
use
side
big
of it.
fake words with me, sir.
Discombobulated is
Just
a
say
word.
confused.
And then he was rolling down, and he can't obviously get to wherever the button is, and then by the time he does, he's in the Sarlacc pit.
His
being
button must be
eaten.
on his hand, though. It must be within range.
Yeah, but he's rolling, so he's confused. He's got a bump on the head. He's probably been drinking on the palace ship with Jabba.
I'd imagine he would be, yeah.
Yeah. He's got all that sweet bounty money that he got for capturing Han, so he's got to spend it all.
Yeah, okay, that's true. Why has he got his back to Han?
Because he's focusing on trying to shoot Luke in the back.
I thought Luke was down the other
No,
end. though.
Luke has jumped over by now to the other one.
Right, okay. Rookie mistake, Boba. When Luke jumped over, you should have jetpacked up and to the other end so you can keep everybody in sight. Right? Because that is stupid. You've got enemies behind you and enemies in front of you. If you've got a jetpack, you just get the fuck out of there and move. So I would have jetpacked as soon as Luke jumped over me. Perhaps even while he's jumping over me, I would have flown up into
No,
him.
because he's on the floor at this point. And then when Luke
Ah.
jumps, then he gets back up.
All
and
right.
tries to
As
shoot
soon
him.
as Luke's jumped and I've got back up, jetpack up and over to the other side, and Chewie would be like, "Oh look, Boba's there," and Han would turn around, hit Luke, knocked
No,
Luke
because
in.
Luke's on a different ship.
Fine. Regardless, I would have jetpack over to the other side, so I keep them all in view, and then I would have shot Han because he's blind. He wouldn't be able to
he
survive
is
it.
blind, yeah.
And then Chewie would have knocked him out of the way to avoid the blast and knocked Han into the Sarlacc pit.
Okay, Jabba is next to bite the dust, and Princess Leia is not happy with him making her wear that sexy, revealing bikini thing. Jabba's a bit of a perv, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
So Leia's not happy. All the shutters go down to stop Luke getting into the Jabba's ship. And then Leia grabs her chain, strangles Jabba, and Jabba dies. But there's not much Jabba can really do. He's a giant slug thing. His hands are tiny. He doesn't really move because he's obese and old. What can he do?
Don't make her chain that long, you dumbass. Okay? If you've dressed her up like this, you've got her laying on you, basically, in the palace. You're obviously keeping there as like a decoration, something to perv on, whatever you're planning to do with her. Let's not get into that.
No. Oh.
Right? So, I would have not made her chain that long. I don't know whether you wanted to do it so she could dance like the Twi'lek did,
Yeah, I
That
think
may have
that's
been
probably why.
but I personally wouldn't have done that. I would have made the chain shorter, so she would have gone to strangle me, would have got halfway, realised it wasn't going to work, and I'd be like, "What are you doing? You give me a chain, look, just throw it around."
But then she's Princess Leia. She's a badass. She would have just probably punched Jabba to death. Wrapped the chain around her fist and just used it as knuckle dusters.
Oh, I'm nasty. Keep a personal guard with you, who even when shit like this kicks off, stays
he does
by your
have a
side.
personal guard. That weird monkey thing.
No, that's things like his pet. That's a pet of his, right? I would have kept Boba with me.
Well,
Right.
Boba's gone. Boba
Yeah,
wants to deal
If
with.
he would have flown off to do that, I would be
Boba's
like,
dead.
Boba, no, come back here.
No, Boba's his own man.
Well, no, he shouldn't be, because look, he dies. I would keep somebody with me who's a personal bot. So when stuff kicks off, they don't even leave to go deal with it. They stay with me 24/7. And then as soon as she started trying to strangle me, they could have just shot her or knocked her out, whatever.
Because Jabba's problem is he doesn't really have guards, does he? I mean, he's got the Gamorrean guards, but I see them as just like gangsters and stuff that go to him because he's powerful
Your
and
common
he's got
thug
this.
sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
They've got no loyalty towards him. I feel.
or to each other. They all laugh when the other Gamorrean falls in the
Yeah.
Rancor pit. They don't give a-
Even the other Gamorreans.
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Yeah, I would hire somebody who I know would be loyal on that lot and stay with me, even if they're out of fear.
Yeah.
And just keep them with me. A bit like, he's got the Twi'lek.
Yeah.
Somebody like that, but
That
he's
isn't
got guns.
greasy and slimy and
Yeah.
just runs away and goes, oh, maybe you'll give me the message for Jabba. And
It's like,
no.
who's definitely trying to steal power
Yeah.
from you.
He is.
I know.
So
I would have
creepy.
somebody who's vetted by the cartel, because there's the Hutt cartel, which
Yeah.
obviously what Jabba's part of, who we know is good, works for them, and comes along and helps.
Yeah.
Stays with me. And then they would have shot Leia as soon as she tried to do that. And then what they would have done as well, as soon as Luke got his lightsaber out, they'd have fired a rocket down and blown it up. That's what Boba should have done when he's got a rocket on his jetpack. He should have just fired a rocket at the ship. See Luke deflect
maybe
that.
he's used that already and they can't find a replacement one for the jetpack. Maybe they don't make them anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. So basically to save Jabba, you want a Gamorrean guard with a rocket launcher.
Not a Gamorrean, I want someone that's smart.
A-
I want a
A
Gungan.
Gungan. You got there 3 seconds before I did. Yes, a Gungan with a rocket launcher.
Yes.
What can go wrong? Sad death now. Yoda dies of old age. So we can't really help that. The reason Yoda is in this part of the film is because no one believed that Darth Vader was Luke's father. Everyone was freaking out back in the day, and Yoda was there to go, yes, it is true, because everyone thought it was a trick and stuff. Whereas now we just accept it and stuff. So yeah. So Yoda dies.
I reckon it's still a lie. Leia had 2 twin girls.
Leia. Padme.
Padme, my bad, had 2 twin girls. They took them to Tatooine. Obi-Wan got confused with the babies, lost them at Mos Eisley, stole another one, and gave Luke over. It just so happened that he was good with the Force.
He won the second baby in a bet.
Pod race.
In a pod race. Yeah. So Yoda dies, and then Luke goes back to join up with the rebellion, and they come up with this great scheme to go to Endor, get rid of the shield generators, blow up the Death Star, and because the Emperor's going to be on it, kill the Emperor, end the whole war.
All those Bothan spies died to bring them that information.
Yes. And it wasn't even worth it because Admiral Akbar, what was it?
It's a trap!
It was indeed a trap.
It was indeed. The Emperor let them take the information. Had to make it look convincing. Had to kill those Bothans to make it look convincing.
Yeah, and just let one go.
Yeah, so they get their back. And then obviously was just gave them the information.
Okay, so General Solo, as he is now known, because he gets
Yeah,
the
I don't
rank.
like that.
He leads a bunch of people down onto the forest moon of Endor, where a bunch of stormtroopers are waiting for them. Han and Chewie tried to take them out quietly. Of course it doesn't go right. Han steps on a twig. Everyone knows. And then a speeder chase gets underway. So, Luke and Leia jump onto a speeder. Leia flies up next to a stormtrooper. Luke jumps onto the speeder, pushes him off, and he hits a tree. Don't fly next to them.
Yes, pretty much.
That's a good one. Next one, Luke and Leia are chasing after one, and then 2 more turn up from behind them. Luke says, you stay on that one, Leia, I'll take these 2. Luke drops back, starts chasing them. And then I think he shoots one of them, and then that blows up.
I was actually thinking about this while watching a film. As soon as Luke slowed down, went back, I would have done the same thing and just dropped back, and then Luke would have done it, and we would have just kept doing it back and to the point where he stopped moving, and then we had a fist fight.
Oh.
It would have been so
I
much
think
more
he would have
dramatic.
won because he's got a lightsaber.
He doesn't get his lightsaber out though.
He does eventually.
I steal it.
So Leia's still chasing the first one. Then he gets out a little handgun, starts shooting. Leia falls off of her speeder. She's okay, but her speeder goes into a tree and that blows up. And whilst the trooper is turning around, looking at the explosion, he turns back around, sees that there's a giant tree stump, and he flies straight into it.
That trooper looks behind him so many times in
I
this fight.
know.
It's so dangerous. Why would you do that?
Have wing mirrors, and then
Yeah,
you
use
can just
those.
quickly look.
That's like us driving through traffic with random spaces that we're moving in, and we keep spinning around in the car to look behind
yeah.
us to see how close a chasing police car is or something. Watch them crash and then rear end the back of a truck.
Yeah. So wing mirrors, or just pay attention to the road.
Yeah,
or the
you shouldn't
forest
have
track.
it. Should not look behind you at this.
And then last one that dies in this, Luke is pushed off of his speeder. He has to jump off. That crashes. The trooper turns back around, starts shooting at Luke. Luke whips out his lightsaber, cuts the front of the speeder off, and then that goes into a tree and explodes. Just keep going.
Exactly.
Don't take him out.
You're
Run.
going. The reason you've gone in the first place is to warn the stormtroopers there are rebels.
Yes.
Don't turn around to take him out. I don't know if he recognised him and was like, oh, hang on a minute.
I'm going to have him.
This is somebody the Emperor wants. Or whether just thought, I'm feeling cocky now. I've knocked him off his speeder. He's not going to be able to stop me, not realising he had a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Saw the lightsaber and thought, oh, shit.
Oh, I can't stop now.
I can't slow down.
I'm too far into this. Keep shooting.
I know, should have just kept going. Could have potentially saved the Death Star and altered the entire course of the film.
Of the war, yeah. He should have followed protocol. More stormtroopers die on Endor. This time, they're double teamed by Leia and Warwick Davis's Ewok. That sounded so much worse.
Just one poor stormtrooper in a corner as Leia and the Ewok go to town on him.
That sounded dirtier than I meant it to be. But anyway, a stormtrooper sneaks up on Leia, holds her at gunpoint. Warwick Davis's Ewok hits him in the leg, which distracts him. Then Leia picks up either a helmet or a branch or something and just hits him with it. Yeah.
Convenient one was laying there within reach. That was the correct length for her to be able to lift, but thick
Heavy
enough to knock somebody out.
Then she picks up the stormtrooper's gun, and there's another guy on a speeder that's going to get help, but then Leia shoots him and he blows up. So I don't think the guy that gets hit with the stick dies, so we'll just focus on the guy on the speeder. These guys do not have good luck, do they? They're always killed.
For a machine that's called a speeder, its acceleration is not very good if Leia's able to take aim. She takes about 3-4 shots to hit it, but she still hits it before it gets going. It's called a speeder! It should speed when it goes!
He's changing gears, maybe that's why.
This is the Empire have some piss poor engineers and just architects designing their weapons and machines. They are just bad at it, okay? I mean, come on. Right. The second Death Star, that can be excused because it's not finished, so they can fly straight in. First Death Star, no, they screwed that up massively. Their speeders, they screwed that up. They don't make fast enough acceleration. Right?
Walkers?
It's just poor. Walkers? Why make walkers? They can easily trip. One gets taken out by logs.
Just build a tank.
Also, we'll come into this later. I've got another flaw of the walkers, but I'll wait until we get on to that.
Okay.
But yeah, faster acceleration, and you would have got away from that.
Or
easy.
maybe swerve.
Or maybe return fire and kill her first.
Well, no, because he's doing what the guy that was taking on Luke should have done. He's going to go and get help, basically, and tell everyone, holy shit, there's a bunch of rebels here. They're coming for the shield generators. That's what he was doing, but he needed to
You would
zig
have
and zag.
thought the Emperor purposely gave him this information to lure him onto Endor, to then capture them. This entire thing's to wind Luke up to make him angry. Would they have not just told the scouts and the stormtroopers, oh, by the way, there's a rebel group coming?
The thing there, the Bothans only think there's a small battalion, but Palpatine later goes on, there's an entire legion of my best troops down there, and we don't see them, but when they get to the shield generator, that's when they all come out, and they've got the walkers, and there's loads of them, so that's when it really kicks off, basically. Next, Han and everyone get captured by the Ewoks.
Because Chewie can't leave a piece of random.
Because Chewie's
piece
hungry.
of random meat. Yeah, I mean it's a bit of random meat propped up on a stick. Is that what Wookiees normally go for? I mean, they could have been vegetarian for all I know. When you look at Kashyyyk, where do they get their food from? Well, you don't see many of the species running around, do you?
I don't want to watch a film about how Wookiees cultivate their food. I don't want Wookiee farming.
It's curious. I mean,
you want to watch
fish?
A film about Wookiee farming.
Do they farm? Do they kill the weakest
no
and
one
eat them?
cares. They just want to see Wookiees pulling people's arms off.
Which we never get to see, by the way. We have yet to see that.
Oh, we might see it, though.
They won't. Disney has it now. They definitely won't show that.
So the Ewoks take everyone back. They're going to eat Han Solo, but C-3PO tells them no, and then Luke does the hovery thing and makes them think he's a god. Then they put him down, and then they've earned the trust of the Ewoks. The fearsome Ewoks.
They basically scared the Ewoks into obedience.
Yes.
That's what they did.
That's what happens. So with the help of the Ewoks, Luke hands himself in to Vader and goes up to the Death Star. Han and the rebels all do the attack on the shield generators, but they find the back door to the generator, so they go in through that way. And then when they do, there's a guard there. They're trying to plant the charges. A guard comes in and goes, freeze! And then Han throws this box at him. He goes flying over the railings and down to his possible death. How do you survive as that guy?
You shoot the box because it's full of explosives! He throws a bag full of charges at this guy. Had the guy shot that and exploded it, he would have killed everybody in there.
But
Right?
you got to think, Han's not got a gun. It's the only thing he's got. He throws it. That's it. You're the guy. How do you survive?
I shoot the bag.
You shoot. No, you've killed everyone.
Exactly.
How do you survive?
I catch the bag and throw it back at Han.
You've got a blaster in your hand.
I drop the blaster and throw it back.
Then Han runs at you and
Oh my
punches
God.
you.
Okay, well in that case, then I run forward underneath the bag, sliding on my knees and shoot Han in the chest.
I don't
Come
think there's
up,
enough room
using
for
my
you
helmet
to
and then
slide.
headbutt Chewbacca, knocking
He's
him
not
down.
got a helmet. He's got
and
a
then
hat.
360 spin
not
round,
listening to
opening fire,
anything
killing
I'm
everybody.
He's not a stormtrooper. He's just he's like an officer, so he's not got the stormtrooper armor and stuff.
Okay, I don't running. I stand at the corner and peek my head around slowly, and then shoot them, rather than just running and going, "What's going on here, guys?
Yeah,
Can I
run,
play?"
jump in the center and go freeze. It's you, one person against a shit ton of rebels.
I know.
that are
Wait
in
for the
there.
reinforcements to turn up. You should know there's a legion of stormtroopers on there.
And the
Just hide in the
reinforcements
corner.
come literally seconds after
Exactly.
he's thrown.
Hide
off.
in the corner and just wait. Just chill.
Yeah. I mean, he's just an officer. Wait for the stormtroopers to come.
I would have hid personally. I wouldn't have tried to, solo it. Hey, I wouldn't have tried that. I would have hid and stayed back.
That was a terrible joke.
That was brilliant.
Okay, so that guy's died. Do we miss him?
No, very
No.
unimportant character. I like the next guy that comes in. Freeze, you rebel scum. Great line.
Okay, so all shit's going down. Han's been captured. The shield generators are still online. And then the rebel fleet come in. And then we get the reveal it's a trap. Do you want to hear the Admiral Akbar clip again?
Yeah, lay it on me.
It's a trap!
It is a trap.
It's a trap indeed. Despite Leia saying it's a trap in Empire Strikes Back, everyone just remembers Akbar. It's only because he's a fish.
It's more memorable coming out from a fish.
It is.
Okay, so the Battle of Endor. All the stormtroopers against all the Ewoks. Now, people complain that the Ewoks won this, but it wasn't a one-way fight. A lot of Ewoks got brutally murdered.
I know, it's a very sad scene where the two are running and they get shot. And one survives, the other one dies and just like lays on him crying.
Yeah, well, he gets up, tries to wake him up.
I know, that's a very
Yeah.
sad moment.
The Phantom Menace didn't have the balls to do that, did they? With the Gungans, I don't think you see
Nah.
a single Gungan die.
Well, you see Gungans get blown off their whatever the hell they're riding.
Yeah, but you don't see one of their friends go, "Oh,
Oh, wake up,
he's
wake up.
dead."
No,
Oh.
it's a more of a light-hearted battle, that.
Yeah,
This one's a lot darker.
exactly. You got small teddy bears being killed. So most of the Ewok traps don't work. They try and trip over a walker with just a rope,
It just
but
drags
they all
them.
get dragged along. They try using catapults and stones. That doesn't work. The catapults get blown up. There's a Ewok on a glider dropping rocks.
There's one on the foot banging it with like
Yeah,
some
with
sort
a
of axe
hammer or something.
Yeah.
So most of the stuff that the Ewoks tried doesn't work. But they do get their own back with, first off, the trap where it slides a bunch of logs down. The walker steps on them, can't get its balance, rolls, falls over, and explodes.
Again, bad design and building on the Empire's part. Had it
Yeah.
just had wheels on the bottom of it, something like, you know what tanks have got, where they've got the wheels and they've got the big track that goes around them.
Tracks.
Something like the tracks.
Tracks,
Yeah.
they're called tracks.
My bad. Something like that would have been better because they wouldn't have slid under.
Exactly.
Also, when it falls on its side, why does it explode?
I don't know.
Is it that volatile that it explodes on
for
impact?
dramatic purposes?
Right. Okay.
And then the second ATST to be a victim of the Ewoks traps is has its head squished between two logs, and it just gets crumpled. Like
How
a
do they
Coke
get all
can.
these traps there so fast?
I think they were already there just in case. Maybe
So
they're like hunting.
They've got loads of traps like set
Yeah.
up all around all
Yeah.
over the place. You reckon?
So
Alright.
how do you survive that?
Have windows on the sides with people looking out so they can see them and go, "Oh my god!
Oh my
stop,
God!"
Stop! Duck! Crouch!" I wonder if they can crouch down.
People go, "Oh my god, it's a trap." They need an Admiral Akbar on their team.
They should have, because they've only got guns on the front. They should have some sort of guns on the side, like automatic turrets that just shoot anything that's incoming towards them.
Yeah, that might work because it just crumples them, doesn't it? That armor's not very good.
I know, it's complete and again it explodes.
I don't. And if they'd had one of the bigger Imperial walkers, I think that could.
I don't think it would have moved through the trees.
Yeah,
the
the armor
trees are
could
too
have
dense.
taken the log thing, but it was
Yeah.
too big to get through.
Yeah, I don't think it would. They'd have to have walked through, blasting the trees out of the way.
Yeah, or
hoping
just
they
crunching
don't trip over them. Yeah,
crunching them down. Well, they could have done that then. I don't think the Imperials are like eco warriors. Why didn't they use the big walker?
do you not reckon?
There is a big walker on Endor, and they could have used that. Okay, so we come to the big conflict of the trilogy has been building up to. Luke confronting Vader with Palpatine in the middle going, "Yes, use the dark side of the Force."
Palpatine must have felt so good then. He's like, "I'm making these men fight over me." Ooh, yes.
So he's in the middle, goading Luke to use the dark side and be evil. And Luke kind of does give into the dark side because he goes crazy and lops off Vader's arm.
Yeah, that's the only way he beats Vader, by giving into his hate. So for all his talk of "don't do it," it works. When you do it,
You can't argue with the result.
I mean, look, Qui-Gon dies. Obi-Wan obviously gave into his hate at that point.
he
You
was
see
a tiny bit angry.
Yeah, and he beats Darth Maul.
Hmm.
So, and when he wasn't angry,
He gets owned by Count Dooku.
exactly. So
And when Anakin's angry, he owns Count Dooku.
I know. So giving into your anger, I mean, besides when Anakin went against Obi-Wan at that point, didn't work.
Oh no, he was too angry.
Yeah, other
He
points,
wasn't the right amount of angry.
Yeah, if you're giving your anger just a bit on moderation, it helps you so much as a Jedi.
I can agree with that. So, and then Yoda tells him, "Don't underestimate the Emperor." So Luke chops off Vader's arm. He then tosses his
Throws his lightsaber away.
and goes, "I am a Jedi like my father before me." And the Emperor's, "So be it, Jedi." And then what? Vader gets up. Palpatine goes, "If you will not be turned, then you will be destroyed," and shoots lightning out of his fingers. How do you prepare for that? That's crazy.
Should not have thrown your lightsaber away.
Right, yeah.
I would have kept it drawn, because even if I've turned the face,
The blade off.
no, I would have kept blade on, right? Because at this point, Vader's not your concern. You're facing the Emperor, all right? Yeah, you're not going to fight Vader anymore. You want to fight the Emperor though? Don't lower your weapon. Okay, I would
But
have
no,
kept it up.
that's the Emperor, when he sat down in the chair, he's like, "Strike me down with all of your hatred, and then you'll be an evil Sith guy." So Luke is like, I don't have to strike you down.
At the
I've
same
proven
time,
that I can beat you and Vader without going completely evil. I'm better than that. I don't need it. You're not gonna win. I'm gonna be a good guy.
at the same time, I wouldn't have thrown my lightsaber away. It would have been like, "Oh, I've done this. I'm still good."
I'm
but
gonna be
I'm
a
not
good
keeping
guy,
my
but I'm
weapon.
not an idiot.
Exactly. I'm not going to leave myself defenseless, because he would have fired the lightning. Luke would have held up the lightsaber, and we've seen Mace Windu do it. We've seen Obi-Wan do it. Right? I would have made him, because Mace Windu melted his face. I would have destroyed him that way. He would have forced lightning. I would have deflected it back at him and just melted him even more.
But I think because Luke doesn't know about Force lightning, so
No, that's fair
that
enough.
would have taken him off. Also, the Emperor's got all the Force, but he's got Force push, Force choke. So
Doesn't use
lightning's
them though,
not
does he?
work it. He'll just choke him, or if that doesn't work, he'll just push him over the edge or something. He's the motherfucking Emperor.
I know. Yoda did not prepare him well enough, okay? Rather than when he's dying, rather than him just going, "By the way, yeah, Vader is your father," should have gone, "Luke, the Emperor can shoot lightning.
He's a
He can-
fucking man.
Oh my god, he's got everything. Don't throw your weapon away."
Okay, so this leads us to the Emperor's death, where he's frying Luke with the Force lightning. Vader turns to him, he turns back, he's having a crisis of conscience. Then he picks up the Emperor. He's had enough of his bullshit. Throws him down the big hole pit thingy.
And fulfills the destiny of being the chosen one.
Fulfills the destiny that wasn't mentioned at all in the original trilogy, and then was ham-fistedly shoved into the prequel trilogy. Thank you for that.
Right. Emperor's own fault here. Should not have been playing with your food. Right. He's tormenting Luke. He could have easily upped the power of that and just killed Luke flat out.
Also, the Emperor, he's got his royal guards and he sends them away.
Yes.
He should have kept them in, and then when Vader turned, because Vader's at this point he's only got one hand, so there's 2 guards. They could have run at him, rugby tackled Vader,
I think
stopped him, and then just like speared him to death.
They would have been too scared personally to attack Vader.
But
I
they're
can't
there
have seen him do
to
it.
protect the Emperor. That
Yes.
is their one job.
But I think so. Watching Vader pick them up, because everyone's scared of Vader as it is. I think they would have been too scared. Like they would have gone to do it, and they would have been like, hang on, wait, shit, nah, I quit. Right, I don't think they would have done it. I think they would have been way too scared of Vader to do it.
I think the Emperor's cruel enough to force that in to them, because the Emperor, he's a Sith. He's like, right, we're all backstabbing sons of bitches. At some point, Vader's probably gonna try and recruit a new apprentice and try and kill me, and he does that in Empire Strikes Back. Vader's like, come on, Luke, if you join me, then we can take down the Emperor. So he's probably told his guards, hey, if Vader's looking a bit shifty at some point, just take him out, I'm not fussy, but yeah, kill him in whatever way you can.
All of my hard
especially
work.
if he lifts me up next to a giant hole.
What a waste, though. The Emperor put in so much effort making Anakin turn to the dark side, tricking him into, like, killing Padme, this, that, and the other. Ugh. God, he put so much effort and time into Anakin from when he first met him as a young boy.
And what respect does he get?
Nothing.
Anakin,
oh,
man.
no, come on.
Dick.
What the Emperor should have done is rather than torturing Luke, because Vader's watching his son being tortured, and that's what sort of he's thinking,
that's what brings
this
it back.
isn't right, yeah. Had the Emperor just forced lightning in full power and killed Luke then and then, Vader would have been like, alright, he's dead, let's go. Done. Let's
go
move
get
on.
Leia or something.
Yeah, that's it. And they would have started hunting for Leia. Obviously, they still would have not got off the Death Star in time. Well,
no, yeah, that's my point.
I think they would have.
No, this is my point. This fight, as great as it is, and as an important character moment as it is, it doesn't really matter. Because Landau's still going to go and blow up the Death Star. So if Luke had turned, the Death Star still would have blown up. They're all dead. If Luke had killed everyone, the Death Star... if Vader had won the fight, Death Star's blown up. Doesn't matter. Because the Emperor is overconfident. He's like, they're never going to get the shield generators down. They get the shield generators down.
But here's the thing, though. After the fight, and the Death Star's blowing up, Luke has time to drag Vader... Doesn't lift him up, has to drag him because Vader probably weighs a ton of all the robotics to the ship, right?
Yeah, he's got one less arm to carry though. So.
Yeah, exactly. So Luke's got enough time to drag Vader. Had Vader won, easily Vader and the Emperor would have got to the ship because it didn't. It's not like the first Death Star where it explodes instantly. It takes a while for it to blow because it's like blowing up in parts.
Yeah, because Landau's flying away.
Yeah, so Luke has time to drag Vader. So had Vader won the fight, Vader and the Emperor would have easily have escaped that.
Yeah,
and they would have got away.
Because they're in an isolated little room and they've got no idea what's going on the outside because they've been so focused on the fight.
All the alarms...
Palpatine's like, what's going on?
Yeah, but all the alarms going off and that lot, and then they would.
Yeah, that's because there's a massive space battle going on.
There, they would have sensed though. The Emperor would have been like, "Hang on a minute, I sense something's not right. Oh my god, it's blowing up." At which point they would have easily got to. The Emperor's probably got a personal because Luke takes him into the hangar to just a ship.
But the Emperor's an old
probably
man.
got a
He's not going to be able to run.
He can use the Force. He can probably Force run. He can probably fly for fuck's sake. Okay, right? They would have made it to the Emperor's personal escape pod or ship or whatever, and they would have got off. All right, the Death Star would have gone up in flames. They would have got off, possibly to Endor, possibly to a Star Destroyer that was on the other side of the planet or something.
If they'd have gone to Endor, they would have been eaten by Ewoks.
I think the Emperor could have taken them.
I don't
Regardless.
know. I want to see that fight.
Yeah, so
a bunch of Ewoks jumping on the Emperor.
No, I reckon they would have escaped. Had Luke lost the fight or not engaged in the fight, Vader and the Emperor would have escaped. And then Episode 7 will all be about Vader and the Emperor getting their revenge on them.
on Ewoks.
I mean, if you think about it, no, not the Ewoks. It doesn't really matter about killing the Emperor. Yes, you destroy the Sith. You don't destroy the Empire because it's still going in Episode 7. You just destroy the Sith.
It's now the First Order.
Yeah, so the Emperor's been rebranded, as it were.
To be more family friendly.
Yeah, and you've destroyed the Sith, but not the Empire.
Okay, so everyone in the Death Star dies. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Then we get the whole celebration-y thing. In the extended cut, there's a quiet Wilhelm scream as a stormtrooper is lifted up on Coruscant and thrown a bit, and there's a statue of the Emperor that gets pulled down.
Yeah.
And then everyone has delicious food with the Ewoks.
And then Luke burns Vader. Do you reckon the Ewoks tried to eat him afterwards? Luke had to fight them off to bury him.
You didn't believe me when I said the Ewoks were man-eaters.
I want to know whether it's going to show how... Yeah, I believe you now, okay, whatever. I wonder if it's going to show how Vader's helmet gets from Endor. Because you see it in the trailer for Episode 7, you can see his helmet is half melted, but it's still near enough fully intact. I'm guessing Vader's head's not in the helmet at this point.
No, because the Ewoks have eaten it.
Yeah, exactly. So I wonder if it's going to show, what's the bad guy called
Episode
again?
7 is going to be Kylo Ren collecting Sith trophies and
might be.
Wookiee farming.
It might be. I hope it does. It could have a little scene of him going onto the planet and collecting the remains of Vader. At which point we then see Warwick Davis as the Ewok. That's why they brought Warwick Davis back, so he's an Ewok for that scene. Yes, it makes sense.
Okay, right. Did you enjoy this? We've got one more Star Wars film to do.
I'm so excited for it.
What did you think? If you're going to see the film on opening day at midnight, email us. We could survive that at gmail.com. Tell us your thoughts.
If you give anyone any plot spoilers, I will hunt you down.
Well, you don't read the emails. So.
Oh, that's true.
And any survival suggestions. Or you can tweet all the spoilers you like to Chris at We Could Survive. He will very much enjoy that. And
please don't. Don't tweet spoilers.
That's the end of the... not the end. It is the end of the film. It's the end of the show. Chris, may the force be with you.
And you, my dear friend. Right, you have been listening to We Could Survive That, your weekly survivor guide to the movies. Thank you for listening, and we will see you all next week for, as Jack said, Episode 7, The Force Awakens, which will then be our final Star Wars one for the time being.
Unless we do the Ewok film, which will be great.
Yeah, I've not seen it, so I want to see that. But until then, we will see you all next week. Please keep on surviving. Goodbye.